we're back. Oh, there's a lot of shaking. Oh, yeah. It's like the temple. I feel like the Lucha Underground, where everything. Like, remember when did you watch the UK WWE UK or the NXT UK, where the one big fat dude walks to the ring, and every time it goes shake, 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 and it shakes. They literally shake the camera. I'm your host, the most Donnie Wood. This is Brandon Galvin. This is Get Vocal. It's redesigned. It's beautiful. Welcome to my we up for you. You know, it feels like when you have the neighbors over and you're like, no, this time I cleaned up. I did the floors. I dusted. It's cool. It's cool now. So BG, what are we about to do?
We were about to give our instant reactions to WWE Raw from tonight, November 12th, Monday night, and it ended with a fucking bang, Donnie. So let's start right there. The main event was Bayley and Sasha Banks. They get destroyed by the Team Raw. And then they cut to the back in the locker room is Becky Lynch by herself invading the women's locker room, has Ronda Rousey in an armbar. And then she proceeds to come to the ring by herself, telling everyone, come the fuck on. And then Team SmackDown invades them. Man, Donnie, she gets busted open in this.
Did you see where it happened? Because I didn't. And honestly, I'm not going to point fingers, but I'm pretty sure it was Alicia Fox. I'm not saying she's bad at her job or anything like that. I'm not saying those things. But I saw them fighting, and all of a sudden she came out all butt.
I thought you were going to say Kaka.
I didn't see Kaka in the fight at all. I feel like they just rolled to the outside and stayed there.
Good. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. Yeah, good for them not being on the Survivor Series card. Good for them.
But I like that storyline, but I like more Becky Lynch, which I texted you today, Donnie. You don't need Google, bitch. I'm here to educate you. BG, it's got you covered, Donnie. Go write an article about it. Becky Lynch looking like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin out there, getting her face busted open, doesn't give a fuck. Blood everywhere. Killing the game right now, Donnie. She is. You know what? You have some things to say about Becky Lynch, who I'm representing right now.
Yeah, you're only representing her because of me, so you're welcome. You're only because of me. With that said, no, I truly mean this. Becky Lynch in this moment really, I always say it, she's been really taking her game to the next level. And I'm always like, this is pinnacle Becky in today's WWE in the women's division. I feel like there's always that glass ceiling. And then every time I say that, then she gets fucking busted up. Then she's pretty much, the best part is they're all leaving. She knows she's covered in blood. She's like, this is my one chance to just fuck it. I'm grabbing the brass ring. I'm doing it. She stands on the steps and she fucking just looks at Ronda Rousey and she's like, come on, bring that shit to me. And Ronda Rousey just hold her arm for 4 hours and she's like, and she just gets punked out. Ronda Rousey's been punked out left and right by Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch going all the way up the steps, huge, covered in blood, arms, hands, face, big smile on her fucking face, stands at the top, says, come the fuck on. I don't give a shit about you. I'm going to whip that ass. It's a great scene. At Survivor Series time, we usually get these. We usually get these big moments, and a lot of times they miss. A lot of times they're not good. A lot of times you're like, okay. It's cool to see like the jump and the railings. Everybody. And on SmackDown tomorrow, we're going to see everybody in Raw shirts show up and beat on their asses. I totally expect that. But this is one of the few times in Survivor Series build history I can remember someone individually coming out looking this strong. I've seen SmackDown come in. It's like, wow, that was so awesome. But like Becky stood out. This was SmackDown invading, but it was like Becky's SmackDown invading Ronda's Raw. And it was all about Becky, and Becky shined fucking bright. And the blood was accidental. But moments like that, it's what we talk about, blood in the right moment is absolutely imperative to the success of a storyline sometimes. Well, guess what? This blood feud that you're building is now truly a blood feud. So I'm excited about that.
And it's imperative to the character that she's portraying, which is it's me against the world. I don't give a fuck, and I'm here to rage war, and that's what she did, coming down looking like a badass in front of, 7 or 8 women of Team Raw, and she just stands there by herself. And I was fully expecting her to jump into the ring and take them all on. That's how badass she comes across. And I have here, because it was a night of awesome promos, Becky Lynch cut the best promo from the top of the stairs. I don't know a word she said, but it looked like it was a fucking awesome promo. That's how good she is right now.
Yeah, and this is what I'll say. We still have what happens at Survivor Series to consider, and we then have the remainder of November and December, which includes TLC, the pay-per-view. So to me, I want to see what Becky does over the next month and a half. But if she continues on this path that she's on with the way she's being portrayed, WWE is fully behind her in this moment, and they letting her cheer up Ronda Rousey at the end, and also Becky playing up like, yeah, I'll give her another. The crowd wants another. I'll give her another. It really shows that she is being back. Like, she is all in on this. So if WWE remains all in on her for the remainder of the year, I'm going to say it now. She is very much my clubhouse leader for Superstar of the Year, and that includes Kenny Omega and Pentagon and all the great things that everybody's doing in these other companies. I think that her late run this year has been so good. This is, in terms of women's wrestling on a mainstream level, this is unprecedented in terms of what Becky's doing. Add the blood, and like, we don't see this, and certainly not in 2018, but we don't see this in mainstream wrestling. This really is the first time. All the kids who were there, holy shit, look at Becky covered in blood back into the crowd, like Stone Cold. She really did have that Cold edge tonight. Walk into the ring, not giving a shit, not backing down from a group of people. I think it was you who just sent me a link of Stone Cold walking down, and there is literally an entire ring full of people ready to beat his ass. And they're like, calm down if you're so tough. It was DX. It was Triple H. And he's like, all right, and just walked the fuck down. And then he just started fucking beating their asses. Then they beat his ass. Then Kane came for the save, and The Rock came and saved them. But like, it's in that moment, it's like, that's what she would do. She would just fucking go headlong into a wall, and I love that. And it's been absolutely incredible to watch. This is what we always said about her, what she could do. But this is even anything I ever expected.
And you guys wanted her to turn face, but here's the thing, Donnie. She kind
of is right now a face. But I said to you, instead of doing the double turn, you've essentially made her that middle ground DTA. It's nobody. She doesn't answer to anybody, and there is no allegiance to anyone, and it's her. She's the man. Deal with it. And that is true definition of tweener.
And it looks even, like, for me, it looks even better for her that Charlotte was there invading, with Becky leading her.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys had this blood feud, but here's Charlotte going to war for you. That's the power that she commands right now. But Tommaso Ciampa is the Superstar of the Year.
Yeah, and like I said, Kenny Omega is another one. He literally finally won the championship. I'm gonna have a long list of people to consider, but at the very least, the second half of the year for Becky Lynch has been lights out. Because Ciampa, since the Gargano thing, Ciampa's been good, but he's not there as much. He missed the beginning half of the year too. So like, I'd say if we're looking at time frame, we have to look at both of those. Both of those are smaller than like Johnny Gargano's, who's been there all year. But
yes,
I think that you could make a case that both of them, even in their shortened time on top, have been the best.
But Ciampa, while he wasn't wrestling, he had big moments, like screwing over Gargano in the beginning of the year, coming back with the crutch, come from behind, like creeping on Candice LeRae. The stuff that Becky's doing right now on Twitter, we saw first throughout the year from Ciampa this year.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Ciampa's doing it against Johnny Failure, while I have Becky Lynch going against Ronda fucking Rousey. And when Becky Lynch's fucking name is on the lips of Ronda Rousey when she's on Jimmy Fallon and shit like that, it's making a bigger mark. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really considered. Because Becky Lynch, I don't know if you fucking know this guy, but Becky Lynch is in the Marine.
Which, by the way, the commercial that they show for this, they get like the worst fucking scene from her. Like it's not like a compelling.
Is there a good scene in the movie to share? Because if there
I'm sure,
was,
I'm sure there's a better line than like once you go in, you don't come out, or whatever the fuck she says. It's a terrible line that they picked.
classic line. I think it's like it's one of those classic lines.
You know what? And for that very line, she's not superstar of the year. It's Tommaso Ciampa.
Well, like I said, I vote with my heart, and I use my brain to compose a lot of it, and then at the end, it all goes to shit because I get drunk one night and I'm like, no, he didn't. Like I go back, I remember like one thing they did wrong, and then the vendetta begins again. I hear Mike Chiari gloating about someone. I'm like, off my list. That's for damn sure. So there's a lot of that gonna happen. So the Rusties are coming up. I'm very.
Coming up. I did mine over the weekend. It was very difficult, and I'm gonna have to keep refining it, like you said. But the easiest thing, Donnie, Tommaso Ciampa, superstar of the year.
No.
Match of the year, Tommaso Ciampa.
It's
the easy.
Ciampa against Gargano, the first one, I agree, is probably match of the year. But like I said, Ciampa has been great, but Becky, dude, this is like I said, Becky Lynch. It's all in how the year finishes because Ciampa goes against Dream and Ciampa against Dream. You could shut it down, and Becky has no chance, maybe. But if they leave that back door open, Becky's got another chance to come in, both against Ronda Rousey. Because they're going to give Ronda Rousey time. They're going to get fucking time in this match. There is no bullshitting around this. Not only, I don't know if it main events, because the Survivor Series match will probably main event, but Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch is getting time without a fucking doubt. Because
this should main event. It should main event, but it won't because they just had this on Raw. Just like tomorrow, I'm sure it'll be like the men invading SmackDown. But here's the thing when it comes to, because we're talking about awards now. We're talking about the Rusties, the coveted Rusties. Everyone looks forward to this. For January 1st, everyone's talking about the Rusties.
Even I can't even pretend that's true.
The thing with the Rusties, though, is and with most awards, even when you get into like NBA MVPs, it's like, oh, what'd you do in the playoffs? Like, well, the playoffs doesn't count. It's the fact that we're talking about this for the past couple of months, whereas Ciampa did it for the first half of the year for the most part.
Hold on. Ciampa didn't come around until after WrestleMania.
Well, no, it was like but he had the moments and then the first match and then
WrestleMania, because like I said, Gargano and fucking Almas had the Royal Rumble match. That was the shit that everyone was talking about, was Gargano doing that. Which is where Mike Chiari is going to come in and say it's Gargano who's champion or who's superstar of the year. I pick failures, so I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I'll tell you, Aleister Black, Candice LeRae, and Johnny Failure right now. Hot Topic is like selling like hot cakes with that family. They are all emo as shit right now, dude. Nikki Cross getting fucking Candice LeRae all of a sudden like dyeing her hair, painting her fingernails. She's like I was at 16, like a Marilyn Manson shirt, and be like, "You don't get me, Mom."
You at 16? Just saw you last week looking like that.
Yeah, I did have Neil the King Diamond face paint on like a motherfucker. It's funny. My in-laws were over, and I had that on. They sat with the baby, and I had a big upside down cross on my forehead, and they're just like, "That's interesting." You're like, your paint's really interesting. I'm like, yeah, it is. But yeah, there's a lot of promos that were pretty rocking tonight. That was fucking cool. Like, I feel like Paul Heyman, of course, he just deserves to be mentioned up top as the fucking savior of promos. Because he just rolls everybody. And when it's like, that hot dog place in Chicago where you go and they rip on you? They're like, yo, small dick, get over here. Your fucking hot dog's ready. Remember Triumph, the insult comic dog, went there and shit like that?
I think that's called Ring Rust Radio.
Yeah, but there's a hot dogs there where they literally just chastise you the whole time, and you go there to be made fun of. And I feel like you're like honored by being made fun of. And like Paul Heyman making fun of you, you're like, yeah, I do suck. He's right. If he says it, he must see it in me that I suck. Like, I believe him. Like, it's a spoiler, dude. I suck. He's great. But Ronda Rousey had a good. There's moments in Ronda Rousey where she like slips into it and like almost forgets like what to do. but then like she hits her stride and she remembers the part like that she's pumped about talking about. She's like, she seems to mail in the shit she doesn't care about. She's like, yeah, and it's Survivor Series. Yeah, on WWE Network. I'm gonna tear your goddamn arms off. It's like she like hits the switch. I'm like, you make me say it. They're like, I want to say this, and I appreciate that. I appreciate her being like, stop making me say this dumb shit. But yeah. I think that it was a good night of promos.
I thought that was her best promo. I thought last week at that time was her best promo. So she keeps getting better. Awesome to see from her because the promos was the bigger concern with her coming into wrestling. We all knew that she could handle her business in the ring. She's an incredible athlete, but she's now handling the promos much better. She's going to get there. It's amazing, though, that on this show, Becky Lynch did so well in that main event that's completely overshadowed Dean Ambrose, who I thought cut an excellent promo, which was everything that I feel like we've always wanted from Dean Ambrose as a heel. You disagree with this?
No, I completely agree with you. But to me, I was terrified for the paint job on that car. Did you see how close the fire was to the fender of that vehicle? That's dangerous. Like, I was like, Dean, you need to get away from the car.
Right.
It will catch it, believe it or not, it is coursing with fire-producing fuel. You need to get down, duck and cover, bro.
Then he douses the vest.
Promo or whatever.
He douses the vest in lighter fluid, but for no reason, because he's throwing it into a barrel of fire. Like it's gonna like we don't see it. Like it didn't make sense for him to do that. It was a cool visual though.
I saw
but that
would have been a guy with a fire extinguisher like off set. Like we need to cut. We need to fucking cut. That car is gonna. But it was an old car, so.
But that was an awesome promo. It was like the villain in a movie promo, like he's like in like a warehouse or something, and like they cut to like a feed, and it was like the one time actually as I was watching, I was like, probably the one time you actually wanted him to be holding the camera instead of someone else filming him.
Well, so part of the promo is fantastic. The setting I love it. I love him doing shit outside. As soon as I saw him sitting on the hood, though, I thought of Billy Madison, where he pulls up the high school and he's got his jacket on. He's like, "Here I come again on my own." Oh, no one's around. All right, get down off. It's hot up here. Oh, it's hot up here. Fuck, car's gonna catch fire. There were it was goofy. It was a little bit goofy in the presentation of it. But I loved goofy shit. But I'm just saying there were elements to it where I was like, he's cutting the promo of his life, and I'm fucking concerned about the car. There was an issue there.
That's fair. I can see the goofy side of that a little bit with him on the car. And that's why I made mention of like him holding the camera, or like the old Shield promo where it was him with like the old camera cord would have been cool. But like just the way he put everything together about why he turned heel, that you guys made me weak. This vest made me weak. And then the symbol of the vest for us as fans was such a powerful symbol when they came down in the vest. And then he throws in the fire and then flips it on Seth Rollins' whole catchphrase of burn it down. And he burns the Shield down, burns the symbol of the Shield, turns his back on everybody. Fucking awesome, man. Like, kudos to Raw for like the first time in ever that they had a fucking show from top to bottom that was filled with excellent promos.
Yeah. It was actually a pretty good go-home show.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. I listen, there were times that Raw blew.
It's a 3-hour show. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I would say probably like an hour of things I enjoyed this time, which is honestly like 40 more minutes than usual. So, Leo Rushing to laugh more, because it never gets over me.
That Elias child services was amazing.
Elias as a face is working.
Doing great.
He just needs to do him. That's all that happens. All right. Well, you know what? We talked a lot. So let's get over into some private chats with people. Let's go over to Match Me Up. In the corner, one of these corners, you will see it says ready to mingle. Ooh, Match Me Up. Ow. And this is not Tinder. You just simply go in there and you hang out with each other. But yeah, guys, I am your host, Most On. Well, this is Brandon Galvin. Brandon Galvin, why don't you talk some more?
Donnie, right now, we are going to kick it to our fans to join us for the post show. That's where you get to interact maybe with both of us or just one of us. And And every Monday, except for next week, because we're going to do Get Vocal after Survivor Series, 11:15 p.m. Eastern. But usually every Monday we come on here, give our instant reactions, and of course you can listen to us every Wednesday at Ring Rust Radio.
Yeah,
Blog Talk Radio.
That's how you do it, baby. All right, guys, and yes, so please remember, we're gonna go Survivor Series. We're gonna do 11 o'clock. We'll try to time it properly this time. Hopefully, there's a house party. Otherwise, I don't have to do it myself.
Thanksgiving special, right?
Yeah, I swear, I don't care. They said it's to be continued. So who knows? It's a pay-per-view tradition afterwards. You have to cleanse your palate after poop. So all right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you guys so much. Get Vocal every Monday night, except for next time. It's gonna be on Sunday, so it'll be more fun. Survivor Series will be a thing. It'll be like, it could be like a live Smarks comments. If people got Smarks comments, get on and we'll do Smarks comments too. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, guys, we appreciate it. Ring Rust Radio, let's do this thing. God bless America.